Hi there, welcome back. Today I'll be doing a review of The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Chbosky. This is a YA contemporary novel published by Simon & Schuster. It's quite a thin volume, only about 213 pages. The book is a coming-of-age story about a boy named Charlie. He's about 15, 16 years old, and he's attending high school for the first time. And the story is told from his point of view through the series of letters that he writes to an unnamed friend. We never learn the name of this particular friend. And the book actually, even though it's told in the forms of letters, has sort of a diary-like feel. You really get great insight into the character, who, although is around 15, 16, comes across as much more immature than that. I would say almost like around a 10-year-old. He's very quiet, very introverted. He's the boy that you'd see on the on the outskirts of a party, along the wall, the wallflower. More an observer of life than a participant of life. And I could definitely relate to the character being rather introverted myself. I'm not really outgoing in terms of party situations. I'd be the one along the wall, kind of just listening in, maybe, participating occasionally. Once I get to know people, I'm much more open, but I definitely could relate to his shyness and quietness. But there's also another fragileness to this character who kind of seems to cry at odd situations, and he's just has these bad moments that he kind of talks about in the forms of his letters that his family is aware of and can kind of see coming on. And I felt like maybe he suffered from some severe depression and didn't know what was causing this or whatever. But you definitely get that feel of it. And all of this is kind of weighed down on this character and kind of, like I said, left him as an outsider to life. And now he's entering high school. He's trying to, make friends and maybe try and change, the course of his life. And his first step is towards meeting a boy named Patrick. He's a senior who he comes across in his shop class. And Patrick is quite a character, really interesting, an extrovert, kind of the jokester. And he's sort of having to take shop class over because he managed to fail shop class, yes. And so Charlie connects with Patrick, and through that meeting, he meets Patrick's stepsister, Sam. And Charlie instantly has a crush on Sam, although she doesn't kind of have those feelings back for him, saying that he's too young, She's also a senior. And but through the two new friends that he meets other people, he goes to parties and things, still kind of feeling his way in. Like I said, it's definitely a coming-of-age story for Charlie. He gets exposed to a lot of things. He starts smoking and drinking. He's doing drugs. There's a lot of issues that come up within this story. There's homosexuality, teenage pregnancy, abortion, rape, abuse. This is a thin little volume. To me, I thought it was almost too much being thrown in at once for this character. I found it odd that he could go to these parties and, drinking and taking these drugs, and you don't get any impression that his family is noticing anything like this, that he's not coming home in, inebriated sense and everything. It's never really mentioned. I found that a bit odd. The book is rather slow-paced. For me, as I got towards the end, I almost just wanted it to end. In terms of the writing style, though, I will say that I enjoyed the fact that it was in a different format in this letter writing. I've come across some books similar to this before, like 84 Charing Cross Road, The Turning by Francine Prose. Some authors can do it well, others not so well. But Chbosky definitely pulled it off. I felt like I was reading letters. They weren't drawn out and extended like the Turning was, where you lost the fact that you were reading a letter. But this one, like I said, it worked. It still progressed the story. And I felt I could connect to the main character and the other characters. Like I said, I liked all the characters within the book. They were all very well in depth and represented and everything. But it just felt like it was dragged out, even for such a slim volume. I was getting kind of bored with it. There is a big revelation with the main character and Charlie, and while moving, it didn't move me as much as I thought it would. Maybe it wasn't quite unexpected. I guess maybe in the back of my mind, I kind of felt it coming. But overall, it was just an okay book for me. I mean, it has a lot of hype, and sometimes that can be detrimental to a book. I mean, it makes you want to pick it up and see what's all the hype about. But then you've put that book way up here in your mind, and then it kind of just doesn't quite meet those expectations. And that was sort of the case for me. Overall, I just gave this 3 stars. Again, maybe it's just me. Not that big into contemporary novels. I kind of crave the action or the dystopian and that kind of genre. But I do read contemporary, and for me, this one, just like I said, just fell a little flat for me. After I read the book, I did pick up the movie, which I had from Netflix for like the past several months, and I was waiting to finish the book. I thought the characters were excellent. They were perfect actors, for those parts, exactly the way I kind of imagined them. It's slimmed down a little bit in terms of some of the issues that are brought up and things, so the pacing's a little bit better in terms of the movie. I enjoyed it immensely. I'd say in terms of the big revelation and the emotional ending, that hit me more in the movie, and I was actually tearing up in that, whereas I didn't when I was reading it for some reason. I'm not sure why, maybe the visual impact of seeing the characters and everything. But again, overall, it was just an okay movie. Another contemporary, no action. For me, I need that action, I guess. So for me, it was just kind of on the same level as the book, maybe a little bit better. But again, I just gave it about 3 stars. So that's my review for The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you've read it and what you thought about it, or if you've seen the movie and the same thing. So thanks for watching and happy reading.